Hello Leo, welcome to Fifth House Divination. My name's Kirsty and today we are going to do a love reading for you. So this is for Venus in Leo, but may also resonate with Sun, Moon and Rising Leos. So do check out your other Sun, Moon and Rising signs and there may be something there for you. Readings are general, so just take what resonates, and there is no date on the reading, so just trust that when you find it, if it does resonate, then it is your message at that time. Okay Leo, so the love message, the theme of the reading that we've got coming through is your treasure is at hand. And it says that sure, you can always find prettier, handsomer, skinnier, richer, younger, zippier, but more often than not one learns that most laughs the loudest and smiles the widest with those they've already found, especially when they stop looking elsewhere. Actually, zippier is on a few lists. Tally ho, the universe. So we think this is talking about having a connection and being in a situation with a person, but kind of casting your eye around, or somebody's casting their eye around, looking for better and being kind of distracted by that. But when you actually sort of stop and think, you understand that sometimes the people that you have deep established connections with are where you know, emotionally much more fulfilling. You can find people that on the outside look possibly better suited for you, but you know, at the end of the day, you're not just going to sit. You can't just sit and look at somebody all the time. There's got to be, you know, there's got to be some kind of deeper connection there. So yeah, okay. So what we've got then, so in the present, then what we've got is we've got the Temperance card coming through. And the Temperance card talks about rebalancing after profound change. So the Temperance card comes in after the death and rebirth energy. And she basically, it's a card of healing, it's a card of divine timing also sometimes. But she basically, the Temperance card, whatever's left over, when you've been through a profound transformation, you're kind of left with bits. It's the death card is the, I always say it's the caterpillar to the butterfly transformation. Once you become a butterfly, you know, you can't go back to being a caterpillar. And so the Temperance energy, what that does is it kind of picks up what's left, remixes it, reblends it, and sort of, you know, it's like the equivalent of you kind of falling over and your mum coming along and kind of picking you back up and propping you back down on your feet and dusting off the dirt. So there is some kind of restabilizing, remixing after a profound transformation, a profound change. And this came in with the Four of Wands. So this is to do, I think this is to do with the home environment. There's some changes in the home environment, possibly to do with a sort of an established cohabitation relationship. There aren't any cups here in this, considering this is a love reading. There aren't any cups here. It's mostly sword energy. So this is all about logic, thinking, the mind. So okay, so what we've got clarifying the Temperance card, we had the Ace of Swords which came through. That was the first card that came out, and that does talk about messages, or it can talk about a new way of thinking, logic, thought, and then this is further clarified by the Hanged Man, and the Hanged Man does talk about, you know, going into a sort of a stasis, as it were, to reconsider your options, to see things from a different perspective. So I think this is very much somebody I think there has been a separation. I'll get to the cards in the past in a moment. I think there has been some kind of separation, some kind of severance in the past. And so possibly where you are at the moment is, you know, you've got this kind of hanged man energy. So you may have been in this energy for a little while of, you know, sort of withdrawing, thinking about things not moving forward because you're trying to find a new perspective on this change that's happened. So I think that this is probably somebody trying to come back in, maybe after a separation in the past. There's an energy of trying to figure out how this connection that was previously severed could be sort of, you know, kind of put back into, you know, into action, how it could become your home again, as it were. The underlying energy that we had for the main cards was the Six of Swords. And that does talk about, this is the energy of mentally moving on. So I think what's happening with this is that there was a split. You've got kind of gone your separate ways, you know. There's a sort of a whole load of kind of healing going on and moving away, and now somebody is coming back. At the moment, at the point that I'm recording this, actually, this is Mercury is retrograde, and we are about to have Mercury retrograde conjunct Venus in Aquarius. So this is actually feeling more like, so check out the retrograde readings, actually. You'll find them on the channel. I did do some love readings specifically, but I also did some general, so check out both of them, they may be relevant. So in the past then, let's go to this past energy. This feels very much like there has been a split up and somebody is sort of trying to come back in. So in the past, what we've got is this King of Swords, and this can talk about clarity and really sort of understanding and using logic, but this could also be somebody that you dealt with. This could be a cutting off based on purely sort of logical reasons. There's no heart here, as I say, within this. There's no cups. So I think any decision that was made in the past was based on a purely logical, and if you're, you know, as if somebody's gone just looking for prettier, handsomer, skinnier, wiser, richer, you know, and not considering the emotional ramifications of the emotional impact. And the card that came out to clarify that is the World card. And the World card is the card of closing out. It's the card of finishing off a cycle. It's the card of the World card comes out when you've kind of learned the lesson from whatever big cycle it was that you were in. So I think this is probably the ending of quite a long-standing, substantial relationship. And I think because we've got the Home card here, I think this is probably at least a cohabitation, a previous cohabitation, possibly a marriage. And I think there was a closeout, basically, because somebody was thinking about or had been going after other, you know, something else, something bright and shiny. And they're now sort of understanding possibly that their treasure is at hand. So at the moment there is some kind of consideration about whether this could be sort of patched up, or, you know, you could bring it back into sort of cohabitation, or sort of making it a foundational part of your life. But looking at the cards that are here, we've got, as I said, we've got the Six of Swords, which does talk about moving away. So I think, possibly there may have been a lot of conflict with this connection. It may have been the conflict that drove you guys apart, possibly. But, you know, in the end, you know, the heart wants what it wants. But it's interesting, as I say, it's interesting that there are no cups here. So again, this feels like if they are coming back in, this feels very much, again, like a logical move. I'm hearing Scorpio, so I don't know if you're dealing with a Scorpio or whether I'm just thinking of the deviousness of Scorpio. But anyway, what we've got in the future is the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords is an ending. It is, you know, you don't come back from Ten of Swords in the back, 10 swords in the back. So this is, I think this really is talking about something being done. I mean, I'm surprised. So we've got this World card here that normally talks about having learned everything. So this could be just at the point at which you're learning everything that you need from the situation. And now you're like, no, you know what, this is definitely done. So the difference between this World card and the Ten of Swords is something that we can influence. The World card is generally part of a much bigger cycle. So I think whatever this is, if this is I'm trying to get back into a connection, then I don't think it's going to fly. I think, you know, somebody somewhere is going to think, right, no, I'm not having this. This is not good for me. I can't go back there. It really is genuinely, definitely done. Because if you're in a hanged man, trying to sort of consider, you know, how that might possibly, I think the conclusion is no. Or if this is something that is coming together and you do decide to come together, it might be that something else, if this person has been off, has been in connection with somebody while they've been separated. If one of you has been in a connection while you've been separated, then it might be that that's needing to come to an end. And when I ask for clarification with that, it says Six of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles talks about reciprocation, equal give and take, equal putting into the connection. So I think for some of you, if you're in the scenario where other things are being finished, external, and you guys are coming back together and you're making the decision to come back together, then I think there is going to be a new era of, you know, kind of reciprocal give and take with regards to resources. As I say, I'm not seeing any cups here, so I'm a little bit concerned that there's no love, or, you know, there's no love cards coming out, as it were. For others of you, if you're not coming back into connection, then I think this is it. Just, you know, this is you just kind of cutting it off and saying, no, I'm not collaborating. I don't want to put into this anymore. This is not good for me. Tiny little word of warning is for some of you, there may be some kind of, what's the word? Betrayal, possibly, with regards to resources, with regards to sort of how much you've both put in. So if this is something where you're deciding not to carry on, not to progress, if this is you guys kind of going to, say, divorce, or, you know, then just make sure that everything's kind of fair and square. That won't be for all of you, and I'm not trying to frighten anybody, but it's just a bit of a heads up. Just beware. Okay, right, guys. I'm going to leave that there for you. Bear in mind, if you're listening to this about the time that I'm publishing it, which it'll go up just after Valentine's Day, the week after Valentine's Day, this will be going up in 2021. If you are listening at this point, just think that Mercury is retrograde at the moment. So any decision that you make up until Mercury retrograde ends 22nd of February, and then you've got another week or two of shadow. So any decision that you make between kind of now and the end of February or the first week of March, there is a possibility that there may be some rethinking. Or you know, it's retrograde, so often when Mercury goes direct again, things change, people change their minds. So I would say for everybody, don't commit to anything, don't do anything big until probably the middle of March, if you're listening to this at the point that it's been published. Right guys, so good luck with this. If you got something from this, please do like and subscribe. It really helps the channel, it helps me to keep doing videos for you that I enjoy doing. Do check out your other sun, moon and rising signs, they may be a little bit more appropriate. Check out the Mercury retrograde readings that I was talking about, and obviously also check out your other general readings. I'll speak to you again soon. Cheers guys, bye bye.